Hey everybody, my name is Cameron. I'm 23 years old and this is my first ever YouTube video on this channel. I've always wanted to be a content creator, a YouTuber ever since I was a little boy. So definitely now I'm taking this time, I'm taking this opportunity and just going to let my voice be heard. And I have this platform, this opportunity to do so. So this is my first ever YouTube video. And what we're going to be talking about today, or what I'm going to be sharing with you guys, is how eating raw foods, mostly fruits, and maybe some vegetables and some seeds and nuts and things like that, how making that lifestyle change and that choice has basically simplified my life in general. So with that all being said, let's get into the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. All right, so I have my list written down. So I'll start with the first point that I've noticed since I have been eating raw foods is that I spend less time in the kitchen cooking or preparing dishes. So since I do eat mostly fruits and a little bit of vegetables, some seeds and nuts and things like that, I don't have to spend a lot of time putting in thought, effort, or anything into making any meals, preparing any food, or even thinking about, what am I going to eat? What am I going to eat for breakfast? What am I going to eat for lunch? What am I going to eat for dinner? What am I going to have a snack? I simply just go into my kitchen, I grab an apple, I grab a banana, more like a couple, maybe like 4 or 5 if I'm eating at like one sitting, sometimes more. But it's just so simple, like to break it down, only eating one type of food or maybe a couple types of food, that the at most thing that you have to do is wash it or peel it. And I don't have to cook it and let it cook and wait on it to cook. It's kind of like I get to eat on demand, which is really nice. Kind of how the intender created, just go up to the tree, pluck the fruit and eat it. I don't have to spend time like soaking beans or washing rice or boiling the rice and letting it cook. That takes a long time. So that's definitely one of the first things I've noticed, and it has made me have way more time to do other things and prioritize other things in my life. The second thing that I wrote down is that I spend less time in the grocery store. So since I kind of already have an idea of what I like to eat and what I'm gonna eat, I kind of know like what's in season as well. So I'm not really browsing all of the fruits and looking at everything, because I'm not gonna buy everything and I'm not gonna get it, because chances are if it's in the grocery store and it's not in season, it probably doesn't taste very good. So, just knowing what I'm gonna get before I go to the store, getting in, getting out very quickly. I barely ever have a full-size cart if I'm shopping by myself. I either get a basket or like the little small carts, and that's perfect for me. Just grab what I need and go, and I'm not, fighting the aisles, because you'll even notice too when you go to the grocery store, there's not very many people in the produce section. It's more so people in like the meat areas or the delis, the aisleways where they sell packaged foods and things like that. So it's just way easier on me that way. Okay, so the next point that I made, which I kind of touched on in point number 1, but I spend less time actually thinking and planning about what I'm going to eat. So I remember before, waking up, oh, what am I going to eat for breakfast? And, planning that out. Or what am I going to make for dinner? And like I said before, if I was making like a chickpea dish or something with any type of beans, or even I know like with raw foodists, they do eat like different meals with like nuts and, soaking them and processing them to, be kind of broken up to make like mock taco meat and different things. I don't do that stuff. So I don't even have to think about it. And I get to use that time spent thinking about those things and put it into other things, put it into other creative things, because cooking definitely is creative and it is a creative outlet. But since I don't cook, since I don't really prepare or like make special dishes, other than like a salad maybe, that's pretty rare, honestly. I get to spend that creative energy and those creative thoughts and put it towards other things, and just be able to use my time a little bit more proficiently, in my opinion. All right, so the next point that I will be touching on today is that my mindset around food has changed. So since coming into a plant-based lifestyle and then transitioning over into a completely raw plant-based lifestyle, eating mostly fruits, just my mindset and my understanding on food has definitely changed. I don't think, oh, I need to have this and I need to have this, and I'm not combining a whole bunch of different foods together and eating it all at one time. I stay pretty simple in what I am eating as well. So if I try to eat like I'm mono eating, where I'm just eating one type of food at a time per meal, or I might include, like if I'm eating one type of fruit, I might mix it in with another. But for the most part, just me, like I don't even really like spending the time to cut stuff up. I just want to eat it. So if I'm eating apples, if I'm making a meal out of apples, I'm just eating the apples. If I'm eating bananas, I'm just eating the bananas, or whatever it is, pears, mangoes, watermelon, I'm just eating that, because that to me is more simple, and it is actually way more easier on your digestive system when you do eat in a more simple manner. So I've definitely noticed, like, just the way I think about food and combining food and what is necessary for the human body and what is necessary and what I even see as food, that stuff has definitely changed. And it's just become way more simplified. Because I really do believe that the creator and nature is simple. It's not complex. We can go outside and we see how things just function naturally on their own. And, I would say we, as in a general population of people, we put way more thought into things than we need to. So the next point that I have is I do not eat out anymore. I don't go to restaurants and sit down, wait for my food, wait for my order to be taken, wait for my food to be given to me and then eat it, wait for the waiter to come back and give me the bill so I can pay, for him to take the money. I don't do any of that stuff. Now, not because those particular things bothered me per se, but just the area that I'm in, there isn't a lot of raw vegan spots. And even if they are, I also don't eat oils and salts and like onion and garlic and things like that, ginger. So it's kind of hard, like when you go to a raw vegan place, like they typically use those type of ingredients, or they use fermented food, and I also don't eat that as well. So that's pretty much just like personal opinion and like preference as far as eating out at restaurants. And we just don't have them in my area. So, I prefer to eat the food that I pick. And I know in the future, I will be growing a garden, and, I want to have like a fruit forest one day. So I'll be able to just go outside in my yard and pick the fruit off the land, or if I grew some tomatoes or I grew some greens, just pick that myself. So I know that it was grown with love, and I know that it was grown without pesticides or anything crazy in it. So that's just my preference as to why I don't eat out. I don't know what people really do with the food either while they're preparing it and how it's being prepared. So that's just kind of like eases my mind in that aspect. But it does free up time, because I'm not sitting at these places waiting on the food to be brought out. And, I just can use that time to do other things. It saves me money too as well. So definitely a plus. All right, so this is my next point. So I have more energy, which is just a result from eating raw food. And because I have more energy, I don't have to sleep as much either. I can get, way less sleep than I used to have to get in a night, and wake up and feel completely energized, completely ready to go. So I get to spend that time doing other things. I woke up the other day at like 1:30 a.m. And, whereas before I would have been so tired and I would have just been groggy and probably grumpy and just feeling depleted, because my body was working to process foods or things that I've eaten that aren't foods, that aren't supposed to be processed by the human body. I would be using all of my energy that my body should be using to repair itself in my sleep. So now that I eat simple foods and I eat foods that digest really quickly and I eat foods that are actually made for my species as a human being, my body doesn't need all that time throughout the night to repair itself. It can repair itself rather quickly. And, I had woken up at 1:30, as I had mentioned, and instead of, using that time to be on my phone, to be on social media, or to go back to sleep, I created a website for my business, which is awesome. I felt really accomplished after I did that because, whereas before I would have wasted time scrolling on YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels or Facebook or whatever, or like I said, just going back to sleep, which obviously there's nothing wrong with going back to sleep. If I was tired, I would have went back to sleep, but I genuinely wasn't tired. So yeah, that's definitely been something that I've noticed that has just improved my quality of life, just having more time. And now that I'm coming into more of an understanding of how to use that time, it just makes it way more valuable. All right, so the next point is kind of funny, but I spend way less time in the bathroom. And when I say that, I mean, when I have a bowel movement, it it just goes right through me. I'm not spending 15 minutes on the toilet trying to push out waste because I'm constipated. My waste moves through me rather smoothly and rather quickly, honestly. So I might be done in less than a minute, just sit on the toilet, let it out and go. And even with wiping and using toilet paper, I only have to wipe one time. So my last point is that eating raw foods has just in general brought me to a more simplified way of thinking. And I will elaborate on that. So since, just coming into this understanding of what we as humans should be eating and what better serves us with food, it has allowed me to look at that aspect of thinking in all aspects of life. So, just with literally everything, I feel like my thought process is a lot more simplified and maybe like a little bit more concrete as well. I'm not saying that I have like simple thoughts or I'm not thinking big or I think limited. I actually think I do not think as limited as what I used to think. But I just see things more clearer, if that makes sense. I just see things for what they actually are versus, what the media or professionals might tell us about things about our body, things about, taking care of ourselves or just everyday life in general. I've just realized, like, since making these changes in my life to better my health and my wellness, I'm not spending my time, going to doctor's offices or, waiting in line for, the new clothes, or I was never really like that anyway. But, just different examples. I really feel like we are pitched and we are sold a lot of things that are unnecessary that we really don't need. That when you start to make these mental changes and these physical changes and you change the way you eat, you realize that your body operates way more optimally, I think I said that correctly, than it once did before. And you don't require, different colognes or perfumes because your body doesn't emit any odors. You have a fresher scent of your body, and you can go longer time between showering and things like that. Just being honest, like, when you're not putting junk in your body, you don't emit the smell of junk and garbage. So it's just like literally changed like my way of thinking, and it's just like definitely changed all aspects of my life. The eating the raw foods or eating mostly fruits and vegetables is just one portion of my life, but it has kind of like ping-ponged into all aspects of my life, just with the way that I take better care of myself, the way that I see myself and the way that I see others, and the way that I see the world, as well as the things that I value. That has definitely changed. What I value is differently or differs from what I used to value in the past. So that is all I have today. I know definitely in the future I want to make a video about the health benefits. I think I touched on some of them here, as far as like having more energy and my bowels moving and things like that. But I want to make a video talking about more benefits of eating, raw foods and fruits and vegetables, because I've noticed such a change in my life, and I just want to be able to document those things and share those to other people. People on my social media might see me post about this all the time, and they're probably like, what the heck is this guy talking about? But I want to give everybody the opportunity to hear my story and how this lifestyle has bettered my life and affected me in a positive. Thank you to everyone who has checked out the video, and I just appreciate your time for clicking on the video today. And yeah, thank you so much.